Hey, it's SickBoy from the Gaminganarchist Collective, and welcome to the Anarchic Eye for the 7th of November 2013. Well, as moths are attracted to light bulbs, controversy is attracted to the Killer Instinct reboot. This Xbox One exclusive has been fraught with a lot of arguing on the grounds, particularly of the business model and of the developers. It not being developed by Rare directly, and the fact that it is a free-to-play game and will come with purchasable characters. Now, it has been announced recently that there will be 6 characters come launch day. 1 being free, 5 being DLC. There will not be an arcade mode in the free-to-play mode. That's not available on day 1. There will, however, be a survival mode for offline play, which is essentially, if you've not played a survival mode, you start a round and you fight, and then you get a small amount of regenerated health, and then the further you go, so your health will be run down over time. It's how long you can survive. So, hence survival mode. So that's going to be available day 1. There will be no arcade mode, but they have just confirmed there will be one, but there won't be one until there are 8 characters for the game. Right now there are only 6. Orchid being the last one who was announced. Now, they have strongly teased that Spinal's going to be the 7th, because I think she appeared in the Orchid trailer, and presumably it's kind of a toss-up really between Fulgore and Cinder. Don't really know, but it could be anything at this rate. So yeah, there we go. Yet more controversy for people to chew on and fight about. Frankly, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that you have to make all these additional decisions. Frankly, I like the fact that I like my fighting games. They come out at a cheaper than AAA retail price. I want to have all my characters there. If there are unlockable characters, they should be unlocked through skill, not through paid for DLC. I have no interest in a free-to-play fighting game, frankly. If I wanted that, I have Virtua Fighter. Got that free-to-play on the PSN, and that is a superior fighting game to pretty much anything on the market. Now, I don't know what Killer Instinct is going to be like because I haven't played it, but it has not blown me away in the way that I hoped it would. So, let's just see what comes out of it. Well, the rumours about Sony trying to have an equivalent to the Oculus Rift does seem to have a lot more weight to it now that it has been discovered that back in May, Sony filed a number of patents to do with head-mounted displays along with audio receivers. So, in essence, big headband with screens and speakers. So, in essence, an equivalent to the Oculus Rift. In essence, this is somewhere to where a great deal of gaming has been potentially going towards. I remember the original virtual reality, and for all of its interest, of course, the headpieces were so damn heavy, you end up with a broken neck playing a really poor 3D game with these ridiculously, enormously blocky characters. And it was interesting-ish, and then I went immediately back to an arcade cabinet. So I didn't have that kind of sense. I haven't had a go on the Rift, so I don't know what it's like. I have heard some interesting things about it. Now, it is an interesting idea that Sony are talking about whether they're going to use this as the game changer for their console, whether they're going to focus on that kind of immersive gaming experience rather than the kind of social entertainment experience which Microsoft are really clearly branding themselves for. So it may well be that Sony are going to continue to try and diversify themselves as purely for people to play a game on and to immerse themselves in that game, as opposed to something you could play a game on and browse the internet and have a Skype call and watch your fancy football. So we'll see what comes out of that, but it is highly likely that this is going to be an upcoming peripheral for the PS4. So we'll see where that takes everybody. It seems a bit too early to call whether this is an issue of IP fatigue or the fact of the upcoming next console generation, but it seems that Assassin's Creed 4, which outsold Battlefield 4 on the launch week, it appears that Assassin's Creed is down 60% on Assassin's Creed 3 in sales, and Battlefield 4 was down 69% sales on Battlefield 3. Now, it's also been confirmed that Call of Duty did not do the same figures it's done on previous years as well. So, it's an interesting question we're going to ask ourselves here, and it's probably a compound number of matters. One is down to people. A lot of these games are multi-plat games, so people may be holding off to buy them on the new consoles, so that may well be a reason that's pulled it back. Another one may just be the fact that people are sick of it, which is interesting because Assassin's Creed 4 appears to... One, I made a little jokey picture in my Top 10 Dickheads video that there is no crouching function in Assassin's Creed 4, which just seems silly to me, but that's something that's never really been in the series, and it would just be interesting to see it, really, considering the dexterity of the character. The ability to just bend at the knee would be handy, but is it down to the fact that people were bored that Assassin's Creed 3 only came out 12 months ago, and now Assassin's Creed 4, which, although of course is focusing on the pirate aspect, is a similar time, so although it's a different title and it has been in development for longer than 12 months, it does beg the question, are people sick of iterative games, or a number of people, not enough for the game not to sell well, clearly. All these 3 titles I mentioned, all Call of Duty, Battlefield and Assassin's Creed, none of them bombed. Not all of them flew as far as you would expect them to. So, I mean, put your opinions in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it's purely down to the fact that people are sick of these iterative sequels, or the fact that it's purely down to the fact that these games are coming out later on the next gen console? People are saving themselves for the higher fidelity experience, or is it a mixture of the two? Personally, I'm going to go with the latter and suggest that it's probably a mixture of the two. There has been a great deal of just exacerbation over the amount of sequels lately. It is a real thing. Yet at the same time, a lot of people are willing to drop, quite a few people are looking to drop money on both consoles on day one. That means over the next couple of weeks, they're going to be putting away a lot of money, and there's no point them buying games that are going to be cross-generational. If they're going to be buying a new console, they're going to be buying them on their new machine, which of course isn't available to buy yet, so the sales haven't appeared because the PS4 and Xbox One versions haven't been released. So, you know, join the conversation. What do you reckon? Wellity. Looks like Adam Orth has popped his little head up again. Hello, Adam. Now, Adam Orth is the master behind the hashtag Deal With It scandal. When he came out, was a creative director at Microsoft. He came out and basically started saying always online is a great thing, and anyone who doesn't like it's an idiot. Anyone who lives in an area with bad internet, they should totally move somewhere else because where they live sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Made a complete and utter snarky twat. So then, oh, I'm so sorry I have an opinion, and just basically caused a huge online controversy. Now, the controversy was between people who just went, what a dick, people who made videos calling him a dick, like myself, and people who sent him horrific amounts of abuse. Then he privated his Twitter account very, very quickly. Then a couple of days later, it was announced that he has decided to leave Microsoft purely off his own volition, not at all that his job became untenable because of his massive PR disaster. But he spoke at the GDC Next conference about his experience. He seems to be trying to paint himself again as a poster child of the victim of the trolls. And this is why I have a problem with trolling. Not good trolling, not clever trolling, not winding somebody up, but the abusive trolling, the sending threats and shit, because it makes these twats into martyrs. And what he came out and said was that he accepts that he misjudged how he communicated, and he should have made it in a private manner, not publicly on Twitter, which is entirely bloody true. He apologised for the way he was a bit snarky, however, entirely defended his opinions and also his right to say it. So you defend your right to say something dickish, but admit it was dickish and apologise for being dickish, but at the same time you don't say, I should have exercised more restraint. No, I wasn't restrained, and I'm sorry for that, but I'd do it again, basically. You've clearly showed that you've learnt nothing about how to deal with the public. It's professionalism, Adam. That's how it works. So, he's come out and he said that he'd received a huge number of death threats. Now, he even said himself, were these credible? Probably not. He was most likely sure that they were not credible. He still quit his job, or was fired from his job, relocated to San Diego, I believe it was, formed a new studio, and is now working independently to design a game. So he didn't believe the threats were credible, but then used it as an excuse to be a victim. He had to shore up all his online accounts. He had to protect himself from financial abuse by trolls. Now, I don't actually believe anyone would take it to that degree. And anyone who did is a criminal and would go to prison. This is why I give trolls a hard time, because you enable this passive-aggressive victim mentality in these fucking arseholes. If we all just said, You fucking prick. And whatever he said, just respond with, you prick. You prick. I am not going to support your company. Fuck you. No, you don't send him death threats and shit. That's counterproductive. If you want to have fun with him, tease him. Rib him. That's how you have fun doing it. Not going too far and acting like a twat and giving these people justification. Since the way he said this, he admitted he was wrong. He apologised for the tone in which he spoke and then defended himself and then said, however, I was horrifically harassed for it and it changed my life completely and I had to relocate for fear of the trolls. Do you see what you've done? Not you, I assume no one who even considers themselves a trolly type, because I do have some who enjoy a bit of trolling, but none of you people are the kind of people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of people who would send a photo, like send a picture of their front door from Google Earth and be like, I'm going to be there in 30 minutes and kill your children. Those twats are the ones I'm talking about. So yeah, he's now a martyr, going to industry conferences, talking about how all the bad gamers ruined his life for his freedom of speech. Now he's wrong and I disagree with him for acting that way, but this is something that the gaming community has created. This is a monster we've made. We fed it. We should have just smothered the fucker in its cot. And we didn't. It's a lesson for all of us here. Stop making martyrs out of dickholes. Anyway, guys, we're looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys later.